Good morning. This is Kurt Ness with Ness Brothers, and today again we're going to be talking about our 55 plus relocation services. And again, the purpose of these talks is very simple. The more we can educate people, the less stress hopefully they will have in their lives. Because through the whole series of these talks, we talk about educating, creating a plan, and then executing that plan. And so by being disciplined, in fact, I'm reading a book, and the life of me right now, I can't remember it. It's terrible. But it talks about discipline and how with discipline we can help navigate through some of life stresses. So again, information on all these Facebook lives is at this website. And last week, I kind of took a digressed, and I talked about the fact, or on the subject on hoarding. And that is something that I am definitely experiencing more and more as we get into the 55 plus services that our company offers. And so I started to do some investigating on hoarding, and last week I kind of gave the definition of hoarding. And this week I'm going to talk about there are actually 5 levels of what people would be classified as hoarders. And I'm just going to talk about the first 2 levels of hoarding. And I'm going to read from the National Study Group on Compulsive Disorganization, created a clutter hoarding scale. And basically on level 1, they talk about, if you go into an individual's home, and I've got to read this because I don't have it memorized. All doors and stairways to the home are accessible. Normal household pet activity with light evidence of rodent or pest. 1 to 3 pet accidents evident. Clutter is not excessive. Home has normal, healthy housekeeping, safe and healthy sanitation, no odors. And so this kind of focuses a little bit if signs where maybe they've had pets and those pets have soiled in the house and they have not been cleaned up. And when you look at this and you think about hoarding, the hoarders that I have been exposed to typically are individuals that live alone, and they don't have anybody else to help them. A lot of the people that I've been involved with have some type of physical limitation. They, just getting around. And that happens to all of us. As we get older, we're all aware that we do less today than what we could do 10 years and 20 years ago. It's kind of the old adage, we don't really realize the benefits or how active we're able when we're in our 30s and 20s, 30s, and 40s. But when you get into the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, your prior experiences can come back to haunt you as far as thinking about maybe what I did when I was young, and now I'm paying that cost. So basically, the first level is just some signs, like they talked about, a little bit of disorganization, but not a lot. Level 2, though, gets a little more. 1 exit is blocked, or 1 major appliance or heating, cooling, ventilation device has not worked for at least 6 months. Some pet odors, pet waste puddles, light pet dander, 3 or more incidents of feces in the litter box. In other words, they have cats. Limited fish, bird, or reptile care, or light to medium evidence of common household rodents or insects. Clutter inhabits 2 or more rooms. Functions are unclear for living room and bedroom. And I've seen that a lot, where individuals will actually be sleeping on their couch. They're not getting into the bedroom. They're sleeping on the couch. Slight narrowing pathways throughout the home, limited evidence of housekeeping, light unpleasant odors, overflowing garbage bags, light to medium mildew in kitchens and bathroom, and moderate soiled food preparation areas. Hoarders, what we see is people accumulating paper. I've probably seen more hoarders in the paper area as far as not wanting to throw anything away. And as those papers accumulate, and Lord knows it seems like we get a ton of paper, that they just, it starts to encapsulate the room and making getting around harder and harder. And like it said, they're stacking stuff maybe in front of the back door. I had one hoarder that the Adult Protective Services got involved. And there again was just a path through everything. Typical signs of what they were saying, strong odor. It was probably it was the first house that I ever had gone into that we had to wear a mask. And that it got to the point that the housing authorities, neighborhood code came in and condemned the property. And we were able to get it cleaned up and sell the personal property, and then eventually sold the house. So every scenario is different. And what my goal is also, as we talk more about hoarders, is how do you work with a hoarder? It's obviously a delicate situation. And is there family involved? Is there not family involved? And I'm seeing more and more of that scenario, that because we live in a society that once the kids are raised, they're moving all over the world. And so we have fewer and fewer family members around that can also help in that situation. So we're going to kind of talk more about hoarding as we go on. It's step one is kind of understanding and recognizing some of the hoarding signs. And then hopefully we're going to talk more in depth on what can be done to help these people through this process. So I want to thank everybody. I encourage you to like this video or the topics. I really appreciate it. Or if you want to share it with someone, or send them an email or Facebook message saying, hey, here are some topics that might help you out. Everybody have a great day and enjoy the weekend. Bye.